The Hangout on Air is live. What's up, kids? 2 p.m. on a Wednesday, July 31st. And this is the July 2019 Mad Society live hangout mastermind / Q&A / everything. Get down, powwow, call it whatever you want. I want to welcome everyone here. If you're live, thank you for tuning in. If you're watching a replay, I'm going to break it down for you guys if you're new on how this works. What we do is we're going to hang out for an hour and talk about affiliate marketing, forum stuff, industry stuff, talk about the questions and answers, or the questions that you guys asked, and I'll do my best to give you good answers. And then we will hang up. And hopefully the point is that my hope for this is that I'll say something that helps you in a way that will help you get to work. Watching the Q&As is fine, but you got to take action. You got to execute, or all of your reading, watching, listening, and everything else, observing affiliate marketing, is pointless if you don't put it into action. So my hope is that I can say something during this live broadcast or the replay, if you're watching the replay, that will help you get started doing the work. Because that is the most important part. As much as all of us involved would love to not have to do any work and just have money come raining down from the skies, that's not exactly how it works. Although some unscrupulous gurus over the last decades would tell you otherwise. It's a free slot machine full of money. So one thing I try to do is keep myself from ever saying anything like that. I don't want to confuse anyone to believe this is easy, but it is doable. If a dummy like me can do it, you can too. So this is broken into several parts. Right now, I'm kind of vamping, as you can tell, as we wait for people in the live session to come into the room. Usually takes about 5 minutes for everyone to get logged in and get their stream set up. So what I'd like to do is start off with a little bit of what I'm doing. Then we'll go into a little bit of forum business, and then we'll get into the questions and answers. So something I wanted to talk to you guys about is automation. As you know, I've had a personal assistant once, and that didn't go well. And I've had outsourcers that have helped me from time to time. But for at least the last 5 or 6 years, I've done everything myself. So something that's big in my game right now, especially, is automation. If you guys don't know what automation is, it's when you figure out like what your repetitive tasks are that you're doing on a daily basis, and you figure out a way to automate them using either scripts, programs, or outsourcers, or employees. Because hiring an employee is basically just a human automation of a certain task. Like if you hire someone to go grocery shopping for you, you've automated grocery shopping, but a human does it. What I like to do is try to do everything with the computer. And something that I've found extremely helpful lately is a program called, you probably heard of it, it's called Keyboard Maestro. It's for the Mac. The reason I've been using Keyboard Maestro for automation is because iMacros, M-A-C-R-O-S, is the standard for PC. Actually, one of our moderators, Will Jr., in the forum he uses iMacros a lot, recommends it, and I believe he even showed some ways that he uses it on his campaigns. So I wanted to use that, but found out they don't have a Mac version, so I found Keyboard Maestro. It is one of many Mac automation services or programs. It's about $35, $36. And what I've been doing with it lately, and maybe this will inspire you to automate something in your game, is there's a certain campaign I have that it has to be manually paused in the evening, and then it has to be manually unpaused early in the morning. Now, I'm an early riser anyway, so what I usually do is when I wake up, the first thing I do, even while I'm still in bed, look at Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and then I unpause this campaign. And then at the end of the night, about 9 or 10 p.m., about the time I'm usually getting ready to go to bed, I pause the campaign. This is something I do every single day. So I thought, I wonder if I could automate that. And it took me a couple of tries. I used Keyboard Maestro, gave up. A few weeks later, tried it again and figured it out. So what it does, if you're interested, and I hope, whatever your process is that you want to automate will be different, but here's mine. Number one, it wakes the computer up because my computer is usually asleep at morning hours or night hours. And then it logs into the traffic source for me. And I did this by recording all of my mouse movements. And it remembers what you typed. It will log into the traffic source for you. And in the mornings, it just simply unpauses the campaigns. That's it. And then I do the rest on my own. But in the evening, it does the same thing, wakes up the computer, logs into the traffic source, pauses all of the campaigns, and then edits all of the campaign's budgets back down to a small one. Because with this certain campaign, I started off with a small budget, kind of gauge what's happening with it, and then I scale the ad groups that are working, and I don't scale the ones that aren't, and they change a lot of mornings. So that's something that I do. So in the morning, it unpauses everything, just gets the ball rolling. And then at the end of the night, it logs in, pauses everything, and resets all the budgets to what I want them to be for the morning. So in the morning, when it unpauses, I'm on track. So it's a really interesting thing. I've been working on this for about a week or so. It's pretty much in control of that campaign. It was not easy. It had a lot of bugs, and it took some patience and time, like anything else. I could have given up easily and just said, screw it, and kept doing it manually. But it's nice to free up that little bit of thinking time, like when I'm out with friends and I look at my watch and it's late. I go, oh no, and I have to get on my phone on some sort of terrible edge connection, no Wi-Fi, and pause the campaign. Everybody goes, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm like, oh, I have to pause this thing. Hang on. It takes care of it for me. So that eliminated it for me. So if you're on a PC, I recommend looking into iMacros. If you're on a Mac, the first program that I've experimented with is called Keyword Maestro. And Keyword Maestro does a ton of stuff. You can Google it, look it up, and it'll show you exactly what it does. Like I said, there are many different ways you could do it. Those are just the two on the top of my head. iMacros for PC and Keyboard Maestro for Mac. And it might save you some anxiety, some time, and help you free up yourself so that you can launch more campaigns. So that being said, that's all for what I want to talk about. Let's check the chat room. Okay, we do have people. Marcel, what's happening? Ilyas, what's up, man? Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. My name is Malin, and I have been pronounced wrong for my entire life, so I feel your pain. What's up, Jason? You guys can hear me and everything okay? You guys give me a yes if you can hear me and see me okay. And then we'll get this thing underway. Give me a yes if you can hear and see this. Seems like it should be good. All right, there we go. We got some people playing along. Cool. All right, so everything's working. What's up, Jeff? We got the whole crew here. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to go over the questions that you guys have. Before we do that, let me bring up one thing. If you guys aren't paying attention to the follow-alongs in Mad Society, I need you to check something out. There's a really good one right now. Let me look at the title of it because I can't remember off the top of my head. It's called 5 Rev Content Campaigns Launched, I believe. Yeah, 5 Rev Content Campaigns Launched. This is a member, Sprice. I've talked about him for the last few sessions of this. And his follow-along is just a great example of the ups and downs and what it looks like to succeed with a campaign. He's been up and down. He's tried many different traffic sources, but right now he's got it dialed in to one, and he's got it to where he can scale them to spending $1,000 or making $1,000 a day revenue with a slight profit. So now he's found his traffic source. he can get it to make $1,000 revenue. That's half the battle. Now you just have to figure out how to make it profitable. And really the way you flip that profit switch is just landing page optimizations, a new ad or two, slight little changes, even making your headline on your landing page bigger, maybe all you need, or adding an exit pop or a better headline. All you need to do is make one right decision. And if you can make it pop 10%, you can go from making, if you're, I don't know what his exact ROI is, but if he's doing $1,000 a day revenue and he's making $100 a day profit, if he could just pop it another 10%, he's now at 200. And then you figure out some other way, and then you're at 400. And then you really figure out something. And now that same campaign is making $2,000 a day revenue, which is $1,000 to cover your spend and $1,000 profit. That's the way that it works. Rarely are profitable campaigns found. Usually profitable campaigns are built. So you find a campaign, you try it out. It's usually not going to be profitable right away. You have to build it into profitability using your own brain power, creativity, and taking advice and asking questions from others in the forum. So I encourage you guys to go check it out. Again, it's called 5 Rev Content Campaigns Launched. He's been all over the place. He's had $500 profit weeks, 500 a day profit for weeks. Then he started getting close to 1,000 and things fell apart. Then he fixed it and it's coming back. And it's really a great journey to go along with. So check it out, and shout out to Sprice if you're watching this, because you are setting a great example of what affiliate marketing really looks like. And, not the BS about buy my simple system and you too could make $10,000 a day with money on a platter and, girls in bikinis walking around. Guys, remember, if you see that, you're being set up to be ripped off. If anyone guarantees a push button system or I can make it easy for you, this is all you have to do is pay me this amount of money, watch out. Especially if you've never heard of them and no one in the industry has ever heard of them, because there are thousands of those guys out on YouTube and different places. They look really good. They're great at making a website and selling you PDFs of garbage. That's what they're good at. They're not real great at running campaigns. All right, so there we go. Let's get into the mastermind / Q&A portion of our program. Let's get ready. First question coming to us live from a new member who just joined this month, Business Builder. What's up, my friend? Jeff says, hey, first month here and I'm learning a lot. I am signed up for the Optimizer. The Optimizer is an automation tool for campaigns. It can raise bids, lower bids, pause ads, pause widget IDs, pause placements that aren't making money. It can run a lot of your campaign on autopilot. Not all of it, but a lot of it. It can day part. Networks that don't have day parting, they have access to the API, and it makes your campaigns, makes running campaigns a lot easier. Not hands-free, but a lot easier. And he asks, I'm using the Optimizer. What settings do you use to optimize a new campaign? Okay, this is an easy question. We've gone over it many times, but I'll go over it with you now because some of the people that I may have told this before might not be here. But what I usually do, I usually like to put up rules right away. I don't roll the dice so much anymore and see what it does for 24 hours. I like to set up my rules straight away. And what I've come up with to use the majority of the time, this is my basic set of rules that I start with. Keyword is basic, and don't let yourselves get confused to think that basic means it's not good. In my personal opinion, the more basic you keep your rules, the better the campaign will run. I have personally, and I have seen other people destroy otherwise working campaigns because they were trying to nitpick every single cent. And if this doesn't get this many clicks in 15 visits, shut it down. And what they end up doing is it grinds the campaign to a halt because nothing is working with their rule set. Nothing gets past that rule set. which might mean you just have a bad campaign, but it might also mean that you've tightened the constraints a little too tight out of fear of losing money. So what I do with mine in the beginning is very simple. The two rules that I set, what I normally do is I'll set it up and I go on placements or widgets mostly. I don't start pausing ads or worrying about landing pages in the very, very beginning. All I'm trying to do is protect myself from bot traffic and terrible placements that are losing money. So what I'll do is if it spends one time the offer payout, shut the placement down if it hasn't made any revenue. One time's offer payout, no revenue equals pause. Then 2-time offer payout and no profit, drop the bid by 10%. Let it run another 2 times the offer payout, and if it's still not profiting, pause it. That's it. A lot of times I won't even do the second one to lower the bid. A lot of times for me in a campaign, I like to make binary decisions. It's either a yes or a no. The placement is either profitable or it's not. I don't like to get into the if game. Like, well, if I bid less, and if I use this one ad, and if I only targeted this one state, this could be profitable, so I'm going to leave it. I've done that 1,000 times. 9 times out of 10, your first instinct, the first reaction you get from that ad is just what it's going to be. In fact, just days ago, I went against this theory and ended up losing hundreds, if not $1,000 on a single ad. It did terribly the first day, but I thought, well, I looked at the stats. I thought, if at this hour on this placement with this landing page, it profited, so I'm going to let it run. And I let it run another day, and it just totally lost again. Drug my other campaigns' profits down overall for the day. It screwed up my profits. And I laughed because I know better. I've done it 1,000 times. So what I do is if it hasn't made a sale after 1 time's offer payout, just pause it. If it hasn't made any profit after 2 or maybe 3 times the offer payout, just get rid of it. You can throw in that extra step in the middle of attempting to lower the bid if there's no ROI. The reason I throw that in sometimes is on campaigns. Sometimes the placement will get conversions, but it's not making money. It's not profiting. So if it's losing tremendously horribly, it's just gone. But if it's close, I'll drop the bid a little bit, 10%. If it gets even closer, I might drop it again, 20%, see what happens. But again, the best advice I can give you is make it easy on yourself, make it low stress, and be binary. Is this profitable or not? If it's not, turn it off. If you're emotionally attached to it, talk to a psychiatrist, because it could be losing. It's like being in love with an abusive person. You love them. I love them. But they're beating you. They're stealing from you. They make you feel terrible. Just let them go. Pause it. Don't even think about it. Move on. And if no placements meet your criteria, that means you have a bad campaign. Move on. If the campaign grinds to a halt, as they do sometimes with these automated features, you're done. Don't worry about it. You're done. It's just a bad campaign. Let's see. Next question. Have you had success with retargeting native ads traffic with Facebook traffic using pixels? No, I don't do that. I tried it a long time ago and Facebook banned my account, and that was one of the reasons that I don't use Facebook anymore. I had a great campaign running, dropped a bunch of pixels on it, retargeting pixels. And it didn't help my bottom line at all. You can try it. It's very easy to find out if it will work. But the trick is going to be make sure that it's a campaign that Facebook would approve in their own ad system. Because I don't know for a fact, this is my conspiracy theory, because no one knows anything for a fact about Facebook. My theory is that they will look at that pixel. If you start sending traffic through their ad system, whether it's retargeting or not, they will judge your campaign. And if they don't like what you're running, your account goes down. Another thing you can try if you don't want to bother with Facebook, I'm not saying don't, I'm saying if it fails, you can retarget on other native networks or other networks that are easier to deal with than Facebook. I know for a fact Taboola has retargeting. So for example, If you're running a Rev content campaign and it's doing great and you have scaled it on Rev content as far as you can go, then you might think about trying a retargeting campaign on Taboola. You can drop the pixel whenever you want, but don't try to lose focus until you have maxed out that campaign on Rev content. You can have the pixel there hanging around building an audience, sure, but don't get sidetracked, because everyone likes to say that retargeting is easy money. It's not. Sometimes when it works, it's a dream. It'd be 500% ROI, 1,000% ROI, small traffic, but super profitable. But I'd say 50-50. The retargeting campaigns that I've launched, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. There's nothing magic to it. So I have not personally had success retargeting native ads with Facebook traffic, but I have had success retargeting in general. So I hope that helps. Do you offer one-on-one coaching? No, not right now. Adplexity sends an email with links to spreadsheets of winning campaigns. I'm going to run a worldwide offer listed with max bounty. Okay. My question is, it lists countries the offer is running. Should I start with those or do all countries out of US and then optimize? I would do all the countries. This is the campaign I would like to know how to set up Optimizer.io. Yeah, what I do when I do a worldwide scattershot type campaign, which is where you just bid very low, like a penny, and you target the entire world. I target the whole world. I don't really limit myself to geos that they might have listed with the offer, because those might be hot, but they might have missed places like the island of Malta, or other little small countries or islands that you would never know about. Some of my biggest profits on worldwide scattershot campaigns, where I'm targeting the entire world, all English speaking, bidding a penny, are in these little obscure countries and islands that you would have never thought of. So I would target them all. And then you optimize geos just like anything else. If it spends one time the offer payout and hasn't made a sale, pause the geo. If it spends 2 or 3 times the offer payout and hasn't made a profit, pause the whole geo. Unless there's like gigantic traffic coming from one ID or placement, you can keep it in the running, but you just use your best judgment. But I would start with the whole world. You've linked to an article on the optimizer, and I have not read it, and I'm not going to read it. I don't want to get into that. I have no idea what that is. It would be real hard for me to give you any insight based on his story. So sorry about that, Jeff. We can't get into that. Next up, Burnhamar, my man, always in on the live Q&As. How you doing, brother? He said listicle season is coming. If you guys don't know what a listicle is, it's basically an article that lists multiple products that might fit a certain demographic or a certain market. For example, when Christmas comes, you see the listicles pop up with 10 different Christmas gifts ideas. They're all on sale for 50% off, and they link to e-commerce products that are usually drop shipped out of China. But there's also financial lists, like here's 10 ways to save money. Here's 10 ways for seniors to save money. Here's 10 ways to lose weight. Here's 45 gadgets that you might want. You target men who like gadgets. Survival gear. You can target men who might be into survival type stuff. Conservative men, preppers, end of the world type of guys. Those work great for those. But what I would do is, right now there is not a lot of listicle stuff happening that I'm seeing. So it's hard to say like what you should launch right now, but I'll tell you this. There are some very green listicle topics that seem to run all year round. And those are seniors, discounts, anything that's related to a senior. Discounts on walk-in bathtubs. That's a huge one. That's usually the top one on there. They'll throw a refinance offer on there. They'll throw all kinds of different money-saving offers on there. And what happens is you target older people, and they come and check it out, and they go, oh, okay, I'd love to save some money on a walk-in bathtub. I've been thinking about getting one. And they click your link, they order the thing, and it comes to them, and you get paid. A tremendous payout. a tremendous commission. But that's one that doesn't go away. One thing that I don't see people taking advantage of would be health and weight loss and diet type listicles. In my head, what I would see is 10 of the hottest diet offers running on affiliate networks right now. There's a lot of keto offers. There are a lot of diabetes related type offers that would probably be a slam dunk if you could target people who want to lose weight, which is generally women over 30, but really everyone, men and women, over 40. That's when people start packing on extra pounds, and they might be interested in checking out one of the products that you're recommending. As far as, here's one of the hard parts about running a listicle. Normally, let's say you're running an offer for watches. The watch company pays you $50 commission for every sale you make. That makes tracking your spend versus your revenue very easy because it's one steady payout. $50 every sale. If you get 10 sales, it's $500. It's never going to change. If you get 20 sales, it's $1,000. It's never going to change. But with listicles, each product, and you could have anywhere from 4 to 50 products on the page, and they might pay out $36, $12, $9.35, $80, $62. You're all over the place. So every day, you might make 10 sales a day, but your actual revenue numbers are different every day because the combination of items sold changes every day. Although I will say, on listicles, generally 1 or 2 products make the bulk of the sales, but regardless, the number is not going to be consistent. So what I like to do is run the campaign for about a week, run the stats, and take the total revenue and the total number of conversions and just do the math. How this much revenue divided by this many sales equals a number. That is your new conversion value. It will not be perfect. It won't ever be perfect, but it'll be close. And that has helped me many, 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 many times figure out what I should be bidding, at least give me a loose idea of what I might expect. But again, you have to give it time because day 1, you could get a certain amount for a conversion value. Day 2, it could be completely different. Day 3, completely different. Day 4, completely different. That's why I like to look at a minimum of 7 days. Even when you get to a month, do the numbers again. It might have gone up, might have gone down. But that's one stress-free way that you can play with your ROI or how much you should be bidding or what your CPA is, your cost per action, without having to stress too much about the multiple products. There's 2 ways you can do it. You can either build your own list or you can use a pre-built one from an affiliate network like A4D. A lot of these guys will supply you with not only a listicle of their top products, but it will optimize itself based on what products are working the best for all of affiliates involved. So every day you run that list, it might get smarter and do better and better and better every single day, week after week after week. You can do that yourself if you're code savvy or you want to manually do it. I've done it manually myself many times. If I see that offer number 4 is getting the bulk of the sales, I'll put it up top. If I see that the very last thing is getting all the sales, I'll put it up top. It might fail, then I might put it in the middle. And you get to experiment with all these different orders, the number of offers, the types of offers. It's a really fun campaign to run. So that is some advice on listicles. These are big, big, big during the holidays or any promotion like Black Friday is huge. Amazon Prime Day would be huge. Here are 10 products that are cheaper than Amazon Prime Day. Here are 35 gadgets for Black Friday. Just have your own Black Friday sale. Your domain would be wickedgadgets.com or whatever, and you could have your own Black Friday sale. So you can jump on really any trend that pops up, any trend. If it was cryptocurrency, that when something makes the news, throw up a listicle, top 10 things that are paying more than Bitcoin or whatever. If it's New Year's Day and everyone's going to try to make more money in their lives, you could do the top 10 ways to make money online, link them to 10 different offers, or make money from home or whatever it is. It's a really fun vertical, really fun way to do it. And Like I said, I'm not seeing it a lot right now, but the few that I do see constantly are, well, the one is really senior discounts. If you're paying attention to native ads, and you should be looking at all the native ads. You'll see it. Those run consistently throughout the year, and they've been running for multiple years. So definitely something to tune into. So I hope that helps, my man. Thank you for the great question. Let's see. Next up is from Steed Tour. Steed Tour from France. What's up, brother? He says, hey, Malin and all members, very happy to be here for my first mastermind. All right, cool. Welcome, welcome. He's got 3 questions. We're going to go through all 3 of them because there's time. What do you suggest in order to begin with? He has a $3,000 budget. The classic way, run a campaign in one geo, one device, on one source, or run a worldwide campaign on MGID, for example, and try to optimize geos. Here's the problem with picking either or. What I would prefer you to do is your initial experience in affiliate marketing is going to be all about experimentation and failure. Usually most people who are new, I don't know your background, but most people are new, myself included, will start off experimenting, making terrible decisions and losing money and failing. That's why I like people to have a $3,000 budget as a general minimum, because that way you can spend $50 to $100 a day for a month, make all the mistakes you're going to make, and you shouldn't go broke in your first 30 days. So what I would suggest for you is you're not going to launch one campaign and everything go well. That might happen, but it's very rare. In my own story and in most people's stories who have shared their stories, there's an initial period of losing, trying a bunch of stuff that doesn't work, and then they finally figure it out. It might be your first campaign. It might be your 25th campaign. So instead of going either want to do it the classic way or worldwide scattershot, I would say do both. And then this is a good lesson to learn in affiliate marketing. You are literally split testing which campaign type you like better, which one makes more money, which one's easier to understand, which one's getting more traffic, which one gets more clicks. And you can decide a path to go using your own data. So what I would say is start one of each, see what they both feel like, and then decide which one you want to do. And you can decide after just a few days. All you're looking for in the beginning is, do I like running this campaign? Does it make sense to me? Or does this one make more sense than the other one? This one got 5 sales and this one got none. I'm going this way. That's how you really find what's going to work for you specifically. So I would suggest with your 3,000, start very small. Start very, very small. Spend as little per day as possible in the beginning, because in the beginning, you're going to be horrible at this, and you want to limit your risk while you're learning to as little per day as possible. Not $1 a day. I'm saying like $50 a day, maximum $100 a day. Don't try to go too fast. Work out your kinks on a small budget. Upgrade, level up your game on a small budget. In my own personal story, in 2008, when I launched my first AdWords campaign, I was spending $50 a day, and I was losing $50 a day. I didn't make one sale. And if I'd started off with a bang, like I'm going to take over the world, I'm going to, and hit it for 5,000 a day, I would have lost 5,000 a day because my landing page didn't even work. So be very cautious as you creep in. Remember, in the beginning, it's all about just learning, experimenting, failing, and discovering the little ins and outs that are going to be unique to your own experience. So I would say launch both. Find a worldwide scattershot campaign to launch, and then find a one campaign, one geo, one device to launch. See which one you like running better, or which one performs better. If one of them makes money, then the choice is very obvious. It's follow the money. That could be a great t-shirt design for affiliate marketing. Just follow the profits. Let the money be your guide. What should I be doing? Whatever's making you money. This way or that way. Neither one's better. Try both. See what works better for you. Number 2 wants to know, in order to begin, do you suggest we do blacklists or RON and block bad widgets? I think you mean whitelists or RON. What's your opinion for whitelists? Do you do both on your personal? I do not run whitelist campaigns anymore. The reason why is because they're small, and scalability of whitelist campaigns is small. A very popular thread in the forum is Peter's thread. It's like how to make your first $100 a day using whitelists or something like that. He showed exactly how to do it and how to scale it to $100 a day. Then the next post that he made, the follow-up, was how he scaled it to 1,000 plus a day. And the way he did that was he started running blacklist campaigns, RON campaigns, and optimizing things. And he scaled it to like 8 or 9 or 10 campaigns that were all making profit, but none of them were whitelist. The whitelist was still making $100 a day, but the others were making thousands a day. So what do I think of whitelists? I think for a guy like me, they're kind of pointless. But if you're new, they are a slow, probably a more safe way to get an idea of what works. What I would recommend is, if you did decide to go with a whitelist, it will spend very little per day, and then you will focus on learning as much as you can based on that whitelist. The theory of a whitelist is supposed to be that it's a small set of placements or a small set of sites or a small set of widgets that are going to be extremely profitable. If that is the case, fantastic. That will give you a way to make some money, or at least break even and not lose a bunch of money while you're learning. But at some point, you're going to run out of ability to scale the whitelist campaign. Like if you're running on 10 widgets, you're never going to scale that to multiple $1,000s a day of even spend or revenue. It's just probably not going to be possible. So if you do whitelists, remember, whitelists are kind of a good way to learn, a good way to make $100 a day or a couple $100 a day. But if you do want to start that way, that's fine. I know that Rev Content has now banned whitelists. I think so many people were running little whitelists that maybe their numbers weren't working out the way they wanted to work out, so they eliminated it, which is interesting. But you can still do it on other places, other native ad networks. And it's a good way to play around with. But I don't do whitelists on my own personal campaigns anymore, simply because I have bigger fish to fry. Number 3, do you recommend the optimizer to begin with? Yes. And do you start a campaign on day 1 with your rules? Yes. If you don't have the money for the optimizer, you don't have to get it, but you will have to manually run the rules yourself. And one good thing about the optimizer is it does it on the fly. So if you don't have something like that, and you start running a campaign with no automation on it, you could have a single widget ID that spends your entire budget before you can hit the pause button. So if your budget is limited, you can manually do what the optimizer does yourself. Hell, most of us did that in the beginning for years because automation services like the optimizer didn't exist back then. And it was a lot of work. You're making spreadsheets, you're reviewing stats every hour, eliminating things that aren't working. So if you have the money, it's a dream. They actually have a free trial, and we do have a discount for the forum. So you might at least experiment with the free trial and see how it feels. It might blow your mind enough to where you go, okay, this is definitely worth the money. I think you can find it in our recommended services, or just search for the optimizer, one word, in the forum, and you should find a few threads. Can't stop yawning. So that's it. Moving right along. Oh, Sprice, we just talked about your follow along, and here's your question. Let's see what he has to say. If you're having quality issues on a lead gen campaign, let's stop. If you don't know what quality means on a lead gen campaign, lead gen is basically any campaign that it doesn't require a credit card. They're not buying anything. The conversion is them submitting a form. Credit report would be, a credit check would be a perfect example. You're putting in the name, the information, the address, the phone number, your financial history, and they submit it. When they hit submit on that form, you get paid, $20 or whatever it is. So there's nothing sold. It's just information being submitted through a form. Each one is called a lead, right? When you hear about sales companies buying leads and then calling the customers and selling them products, that's what this is. Quality on a lead gen campaign basically just means, are people spending money after they submit the lead? So if this was a credit check company and you sent them 500 leads every week, but no one ended up spending the money when they called them, they would call your campaign low quality and block you from running any more traffic because they're losing money. Every time they pay you $20 for a lead, it's just lost. The reason there are low quality issues with lead gen campaigns, 9 times out of 10, a lot of the time, it simply comes down to the affiliate's language. Most of the time, the affiliate is promising way too many things that the offer doesn't back up. Dating's a great example. Dating campaigns are some of the easiest campaigns to convert in the history of mankind, but they're very hard to get good quality. The reason is affiliates will set up an ad campaign that says, free dating site filled with beautiful women who are waiting to hear from you. It's all free, and all you have to do is log in, and you'll get 65,000 messages from beautiful top models from around the world. It's all free. Just enter your email address. It's all free. So, any red-blooded human male will type their email in to go see what all this free models and everything is about. And then they log in and find out it's $49 a month to continue. So what do? They close it down. They go, oh, I don't want to. Sure, you got paid $5 for them putting in their name and their email address, but they're not making a sale on the other side because you didn't tell them that there was going to be a sale on the other side. The quickest way to fix low quality is to explain exactly what's going to happen to them on the other side of whatever the form is they have to submit. If it's a dating site and you want them to put in their name and their address, email address, and then they need to spend $29 a month to join, say that. You have to say that. Because if you say free, it will convert like crazy, but the quality will drop. If you say it's $29 a month, it will convert way less, but the quality shoots through the roof. And when you fix quality on a lead gen offer, a lot of times the advertiser will go, your quality is super high. We love it. How can we get more from you? And you go, well, instead of paying me $5, how about $15? And they might go, 12. We'll give you 12. Done. You've just increased $7 per sale. So if you're doing 100 a day, breaking even, your quality makes you $7 extra per sale, and you're making $700 a day. Right? Yeah. That's why good high quality on lead gen it's way better to tell the truth, explain exactly what's going to happen, really inform them what's happening. That way, when they call them and say, yeah, it's $29, they'll go, what do you mean? They said it was free. Instead of that, they'll go, yeah, it's $29. They go, yeah, I know. Here's my credit card number, 352-621, or whatever. Now, what Bryce wants to know is, if you're having quality, I guess you're having quality issues on a lead gen campaign. He wants to know, would you give more priority to changing the creatives or the lander? If you were just going to keep the targeting the same, but wanted to play around with the angle. Well, both. If you're saying free in the ad and you're saying free on the lander, take it out of both. Like you want the ad and the landing page to be, what's the word, congruent, where it's all the same language here, the same language here, and hopefully the same language on the offers advertisers page. So what I would do is check your ads. If you're not saying what you're supposed to, if you're saying everything's free and easy and you're going to get $1 billion and 1,000 girls, stop saying that. Tone it all down, explain what's happening. And you do that on your ads and your lander. If you do that, there have been times when I was told by a lead gen company, an offer, that I could not send them any more traffic. I asked why. They said it was low quality. I said, what makes, in your experience, because they've done this for a long time, what makes a campaign low quality? And they said, well, normally it's simply people using the word free, because what we do is not free. And I went, oh, okay. So I just took the word free out of the ad, took the word free off the landing page, and that was it. I was back up and running. And I ran that offer for at least a year, making tremendous profits because I had worked with them and figured out that saying free was bad. It was good for conversions, but it was terrible for quality. So that's a unique piece of insight that I try to give often is if you can get in contact, even through your affiliate manager with the product owner, find out what low quality means to them. Find out what high quality means to them. Find out what their highest quality affiliates are doing to make it high quality. A lot of times they'll tell you, sometimes they won't, but a lot of times they'll tell you. They'll say, oh, well, you're direct linking, everyone else is using a landing page, and for some reason their quality is way higher. You go, oh, okay. What kind of landing page are they using? And sometimes they'll point it out, or you can find it on a spy tool, and you just add a landing page and it's fixed. So if you can have a conversation with the advertiser, a lot of times it's going to have to be through your affiliate manager. That could help a lot. I would not switch up targeting. Rarely, unless you're, if you're running a credit report campaign and you're targeting teenagers, that's not going to do very well. You should have smart targeting that fits the offer straight away. If you don't have that, fix that. But as long as your targeting is generally good or smart, or at least somewhat related to the type of offer that it is. If it's a senior bathtub offer and you're targeting 18-year-old girls, it's not going to work. So in that case, you might want to change the targeting. But I have never fixed quality issues by changing the targeting. It's always been in the language that I'm using to sell the offer. Boom. Hope that helps. That's a question that comes up a lot. So if you're watching the replay or if you're watching us live, remember that if you're running lead gen, focus on quality instead of conversion rate, because a lot of times that super high conversion rate means it's going to have low quality. So be careful. Next question, and the last question, comes from Anglytics. I like that. Little play on angles and analytics. Cool. Been with us since June. Good to have you, my friend. Let's see. I love this. First off, your story about bird watching was beautiful. Thank you. I wrote a blog post recently about just what I've been doing, and I made a YouTube video about it as well, about birds that I've been watching in my backyard. I was actually out there today. It's one of the most fascinating things in the world to me right now. But he said, he'd love to see more writing like that. You got it. Here are the questions. We got 4. Number 1. Oh, this is a good one. It doesn't seem like the ad networks like it when you add a lander or offer to an existing campaign for testing. So what he means is split testing offers and landing pages might be causing him problems. There are some networks that get pissed off if they approve your ad and your landing page, and then you end up adding a second landing page to see which one does better, and you add a second or third or fourth or fifth offer to see all of them, which one does better. Sometimes they'll look at that and go, well, you changed it. They'll deny everything. You have to get those approved through us. That is rarely a real problem for me. I don't think it, maybe once or twice in 10 years have I had a problem cycling multiple landing pages and multiple offers. Only during the approval process are they really nitpicky about that. So a lot of times if you just set it up with one landing page, one offer, and they approve it, then you can set up your multiple landing pages and multiple offers. The trick is, if the landing pages, for example, are extremely different, try to test quickly. Because what you want to do is you have to test your landing pages. It's just silly. And if you're making basic changes to a landing page, they're not going to notice if it's just copy. But if it's crazy landing page tests, or if you try to be sneaky and like put a bunch of crazy language or celebrity images on a page after they've approved it, you're just going to get banned from the network. It's a terrible idea. Don't do it. But if you want to test headlines, like slight variations, and test copy, you most likely won't have a problem. Same with offers. As long as the offers are similar and you do your test quickly, 9 times out of 10, you won't have a problem. If you do run into a problem, the few times that it's happened to me, I blame employees. I say I have some employees, outsourcers, they set that up. They were doing a split test. I told them to do it. They didn't understand that I didn't mean cycling 3 different landing pages. It's been handled, won't happen again. A lot of times they're cool. But I have never set up a separate campaign simply to test a new landing page. I wouldn't do that. If you do that, it could work, it could help, but it's going to take a lot of time because like on my landing pages, I go through dozens, if not hundreds of variations of the landing page. And if I had to set up a new campaign every time, it'd be pointless. So unless they've slapped your hand with a ruler and said, do not do this anymore, don't even worry about it. Get approved, test your landing pages, try to test quickly. Yeah, so that pretty much answers your question. Yeah. Next question. What kind of ROI are you looking for on your initial launch for the first few days before considering taking the campaign further? I know this is a highly bid dependent, so if that's difficult to answer, what kind of ROI are you looking for the first few days after you've dropped your bids closer to your baseline EPC? 0% ROI is what I'm looking for, or 0 to negative 20% ROI, maybe even 30. The beginning of a campaign loses money most of the time. Get used to it. It's not a sign of failure. It's a sign that you have to now work on the campaign. 9 times out of 10, I'll launch a campaign. It's losing 20%. I keep running it, and I'll slowly optimize it into profitability. Very rarely will you ever launch a campaign that makes 20% ROI profit straight off the bat. It does happen. Man, it's you feel like a genius when it happens. You go, why? How am I so smart? I must be the greatest affiliate ever. But it's very rare. Like I said, most times, profitable campaigns are built. They're not found, they're built. So you find something running, you launch it, it starts losing money, and then you optimize it into profits. Now, as far as negative ROI that I would say was a cutoff, if it's losing, like you said, you're stuck at 75 to 85% negative ROI, it's a loser. It's pointless. Not pointless, but it'll take a tremendous amount of work to get that profitable. I look for campaigns that are on the initial launch. Negative 40% would be about the max I'd be willing to lose. And then I'd have to make some major adjustments. But if it was negative 80%, I would either start over from scratch or rethink the whole thing, or maybe even move on to something else. Because you might be able to optimize out that 85% of the traffic that's losing money. And you might not be able to. But just for my own sanity, if I launch it and it loses 80% for more than 3 days, it's done. It's over. You know, the first few days, you never really know. It's going to be horrific, to be honest. And sometimes you can turn it around. I've had campaigns where I've launched it, it's losing 80%. I'm like, well, damn it. And I'll pause all the worst placements or IDs. The next day it's at 40 and I go, oh, negative 40. I go, okay. Now we've got something to play with. But if it's negative 80 for a while, ditch it and move on. You're looking for something that's going to start at negative 40 or higher. You know, hopefully it breaks even or makes a little money, but negative 40 for me is kind of like that's my stress loss limit. No, so you're right. He says that he runs them at 75 to 85% negative ROI for 4 to 10 days, and he's wondering if he should be sticking with them. I would not. Sounds like a loser to me. You should be heavily optimizing those negative campaigns for the first few days. If you're running a worldwide campaign, I think you're saying, I would be shutting down geos like there's no tomorrow. If it's losing a tremendous amount, kill it. It'd be easier for you to look for geos that were within negative 40 to profitable, and just keep those. First few days of a campaign, though, remember, bloodbath. But if it continues to be a bloodbath for longer than a week, you're done. Like I say a week because My first campaign and many of our first campaigns, I was so bad at affiliate marketing in the beginning that I was making no sales on what was the hottest campaign in the world at the time. I just couldn't make it work. And if I had given up after just a few days of losing all of my $50 a day budget, I would have missed out on what might have been my biggest campaign of all time. So be sure you're not the problem. Be sure that the campaign's being run by other people. If your campaign that you're running right now on all these geos, if you're just trying it out and it's not like verified that other people are running it, ditch it and do better research. Find something that's working for other people. But 10 days, yeah, you might be in real trouble. My first campaign, it lost everything for about the first 3 days. Then day 4, I spent 50 and made a sale for $30. And I was like, oh my God. Then I started to, and it was because I put up a totally different landing page. My first landing page was horrific. It was so terrible. I tried to make it fancy with scripts and, nice graphics and design. And the one that actually worked was just a terrible looking little template that I found. And it started making sales straight away. But yeah, -75, -85 for 10 days. You don't want that stress in your life. Literally throw stuff at the wall till you find something better. Do your research, make sure you're testing hot offers, but just wood chipper them until you find something that at least gets some initial sales, which is a term we talk about a lot in the forum. It's called a pop. And a pop is simply when you launch a campaign and it gets 3 sales the first day. And you go, what? Maybe you made money, maybe you didn't, but it's converting. That's a pop. To me, that's like, oh, this might be something I can do. The opposite of that would be a campaign that you put up and it doesn't make a sale for a week. And then you find out, the advertiser's offers doesn't even work. The conversion pixel doesn't work. But you can avoid a lot of those problems by simply doing your research correctly, only running offers that are currently running successfully by other affiliates, and that'll eliminate a lot of your problems. So as far as what kind of ROI I'm looking for, -40 or above. Question 3, are Rev content campaigns in non-English speaking geos hopeless, or am I just not bidding enough? Well, nothing's hopeless. I mean, people are definitely running ads in non-English speaking geos. Barely been able to get any volume. If you can't get volume, you need better ads or higher bids. That's a very easy problem to solve. If you're not getting any traffic, bid higher, and then you'll either make money or you won't. If you bid higher and you don't get traffic, try better ads. If you get high CTR and high bid and there's still no traffic, hopeless. Pull out. Or actually ask the rep at Rev Content and say, look, is anyone spending at least hundreds of dollars a day in this little geo? And they'll either say yes or no. But that's what I would say. Definitely hope there. There's a lot of money being made in non-English speaking geos, but the traffic is small. Remember, in the US, there's hundreds of millions of people. In a tiny little island or in a tiny little Latin area, there may be 5,000 people in the whole area. And you're trying to bid, you're trying to get those people, and there's just not enough people. So be careful. Final question of the Q&A. It's 3 o'clock. Perfect timing. Manual spying versus spy tools. Which do you tend to rely on more? What are your thoughts on residential IPs for manually spying and blah, blah, blah? I manually spy a lot. I keep an eye on my traffic sources. On native ad networks, what I do is I figure out what sites their ads show on the most. What's their biggest top 10 sites, put them in a little bookmark folder on my browser and keep an eye on them. Turn my ad blocker off for those sites. And I look at them just about every day just to see what's happening. I can't tell you how many times I have seen other people running campaigns on my traffic source, and I just duplicated it, launched it, and it worked. And also the opposite has happened to me more times than I can count, where I'm running a campaign profitably somewhere, and after about 2 weeks, people catch on and start launching the same campaign. So I definitely manually spy almost every day. Spy tools, I go when I want to surgically strike a traffic source. Because then if I do it through a spy tool, a lot of times, if you use Adplexity, you can download the graphics, the images for the ads exactly. You can download the landing pages that they're using, and it makes it very easy to like do a surgical strike on a competitor's campaign. Just download all their stuff, update it to your brand, and upload it and start it. So I would say manually spying every day. That's just something you should do as an affiliate marketer. You should be interested in what ads are running on websites every day. Like if you're not looking at ads and thinking, I wonder if that's an affiliate, it's easy to spot affiliate ads versus like Coca-Cola ads. If you see someone selling toenail fungus or something, click on it, but check it out. You know, they're going to get mad because you might cost them 50 cents for the click, but investigate it, be curious. So I use both. I don't think either one, I wouldn't choose either one. If someone just put a gun to my head and said you can only choose one, I'd probably tell them to F off. I don't think I would want to make that choice. I use manually spying every day. I use spy tools many, many times a month, especially when I'm looking for brand new campaigns to run. That's just my personal opinion. If you guys have other opinions, feel free to post your comments, your prayers, your hatred, your love, whatever you want to in the forum. Because God knows we'd love to hear from you. That's what the forum is for. Let's check out the chat room down here and see what's going on. Because that's it for the Q&A. We are wrapped up, kids. See, oh, wow, we got a lot of people talking in here. Rev Content denied my Payoneer card. What are some alternatives for French traffic? I have no idea. I use a rewards credit card. If you can get a US rewards credit card, that's the best way to run affiliate traffic, because even if your campaign's losing money, you're earning points. That's a pro tip that it took me about 4 or 5 years to get a rewards card. And when I got one, it blew my mind how many points I got. Just points, points, points. Oh, every day. That's it. 3:04, we're a little bit over, but that's all right. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you have anything you want to pitch in on the conversation, be sure to log into the forum. You can post it right in the Q&A live mastermind thread, and we'll try to get to it as soon as possible. Or if you want to share some tips or your own feedback, feel free. Also, if someone wants to make an audio version of this, then go ahead and make it. Send me the link in the direct messages in the forum, and I'll add it so that we can download it and listen to it like a podcast. It's been a pretty popular thing that people have been doing with these. But other than that, thanks for tuning in. It's Wednesday. Remember, listening to affiliate marketing, reading about affiliate marketing, watching videos about affiliate marketing is entertainment. It's all entertainment until you put it into action, until you execute on the ideas that we talk about. So yes, this is fun to read about and learn about, but it's way more fun when you see how well it can work. And it could just quite possibly make you some money and change your life and make you feel like a genius. All right. Thanks for tuning in. I love you guys. Thank you for being members of the forum. I really appreciate it. Respect all of you for what you're trying to do. I know for a fact how much being able to work from home, doing anything, can impact your life for the better. You know, no commute and traffic, no boss screaming down your neck. You can work at the weekends only if you want to. And it's a good time. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great week and a great rest of the month. And this is the end of the second quarter of the year. And what we've been doing this year is the last month of each quarter, we're not doing a live Q&A, just to give everyone a break. And so this will be the last live session of this quarter until, so what's next month? Next month there will be none, and then the month after that we'll be back. All right, so thanks for tuning in. Everybody have a great day. And as always, I will see you in the future.